stay. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. What's the news today? Have a drink, have your say. All opinions here today. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Enjoy your stay. Webby, GA, and Matt are here today. Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Come and have your say.
Completely down.
Okay then.
That'd be great. Now we all have our heroes in this sport of ours, and I wonder who your hero of the past was. I would lay a bet that hidden in your list of Speedway heroes is a rider that didn't score max after max, a rider that just inspired you for different reasons. He may have said hello to you or had a chat with you. He might have never given up, no matter how fast the other riders are. Well, Archie Wilkinson was that sort of a rider for many. And we at the Speedway Tavern are saddened to hear of the passing of Archie, and our thoughts are with his family and friends at this difficult time.
Yeah, Mr. Riley.
There you go. Yeah. I don't suppose you ever saw Archie ride, did you?
No, I didn't.
My very first...
By the way, I can't hear anything, so...
Oh, right, okay.
I'd go and see the doctor about that.
Pardon?
Yeah, I mean, in the 1971-72 season, Archie rode for Birmingham, and that was 71 was the first year of Speedway that I saw. So he's sort of a hero.
One of the original seven. So.
Yeah. So yeah, it's sad to hear. I know that there's going to be a minute's silence at the track tomorrow, and there's an article about it as well. So yeah, get your programme tomorrow.
Yeah,
get your programme. Right.
Can you do it now?
We're just going to sort out these.
Yep.
Oh,
Sorry?
ouch.
You?
Hmm?
No? Can you
No.
No, okay.
Well, I can hear you, just not through the cans. So.
Can you hear me?
Pardon?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Right. Well, we'll just. I'm. It's very loud in my cans, by the way. We'll just sort of carry on. I'm disappeared completely now. What's going on? Right. What we should do is bring people up to date with the scores, actually.
Absolutely, yeah. Two matches going on tonight.
One which I'm watching very closely. Do you want to do yours first?
I'm indeed. Well, it's a bit one-sided at the moment down in the southeast. It's currently Kent 41, Newcastle 25, and that's after heat number 11. So Newcastle have just picked up a 5-1 in heat number 11 through Ben Barker and Adam Roynan, but Kent, with the changes that they made, obviously bringing Troy Batchelor in, it's transformed their season, hasn't it? They're going well at the moment, Kent. But,
I think they're a good bet for a top 4 place, to be honest.
Well, they left it a bit late, maybe.
You think maybe, but
well, we'll have a look at the late table shortly, actually, just because we are getting towards that end of the season now, where teams start.
I mean, when you look at
places.
What's going on at Glasgow at the moment, all of a sudden their form seems to have deserted them.
Getting on the track seems to be the problem for Glasgow. I think the last 3 or 4 matches they've had have been rained off or something, haven't they? So
yeah. I mean, we'll have a chat about the number of matches. I think we said 9 this month.
9 so far.
Not great. And at Plymouth, Birmingham are doing, I say, surprisingly well. I think I'll probably put us down for a win. It's 13-22 currently to Birmingham. That's quite a big gap at the.
There has been a long delay, by the way. It's just worth pointing out as well in that one for reasons that we're not sure of.
Yes,
we are trying to find out.
Yeah, something to do with a bump on the first bend is all I can really report at the moment. So there you go. Right, so what we would love from you is to hear what you want to talk about today. And Chris, if he's listening, will tell you how to take part.
Okay, so I'll put my headphones back on. Right. So, you can... microphone up as well. Here you go.
There you go. There you go.
So, Facebook, search for UK Speedway Tavern. You'll find us on all good Speedway groups and pages. You can follow us on YouTube, same thing, search for UK Speedway Tavern, and on our Twitter page, UK Speedway Tavern. And there you go. If you really, really, really want to, you can call in as well. So just message us during the show, and we'll call you back free of charge.
Absolutely. Well done. You charge me just for using this mic.
Exactly.
Wow.
Right, do you need me for a bit?
Can you put the comments feed up?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry.
because then I can sort of try and keep hold of that. There we go. Just see. Oh, Craig Smearm said my rider that I remember being a young kid was just because the stadium announcer used to announce him as Rocket Ronnie Corrie. One of my earliest memories of Speedway was watching him round Bellevue.
Well, I will vouch for that because obviously Ronnie was my big hero growing up as a kid. So,
A comedy moment.
all right.
Oh, what's going on?
Oh, that's what I
And we have now just discovered why Matt
Okay, now, Matt.
I wondered how long he was going to take for you to spot that.
couldn't hear us because he forgot to plug himself in.
Well, I
Oh, dear. Wow.
There we go.
Now, where was I before I was rudely interrupted, sir?
You was talking about Mr. Corrie.
Yeah, Ronnie was. I mean, I think Ronnie was obviously, and anybody will tell you as well who met Ronnie will know Ronnie was a fantastic personality as well. Not really like the other Americans, sort of brash and loud, sort of like that. I mean, you know,
Surely not.
No, but no, I mean Ronnie was a great guy, and and a lovely guy as well. And I've had the pleasure of meeting Ronnie several times, and they always say, don't they, never meet your heroes, but Ronnie was always an absolute gentleman. I
actually met Ivan Major on the centre green at Perry Bar on the very first night in 2007, and what a just humble sort of guy he came across as.
Especially if he'd probably been his racing days, he probably wouldn't have spoken to you.
No.
I think so. Yeah.
I'm just quickly looking at the Eastbourne Eagles site because Duncan Pemberton has said, "Evening guys, what's with the statement from Eastbourne tonight, stating nothing basically but leaving worrying questions."
Okay, I'll get that up for you in a second then.
Okay, that would be cool.
That's been rumbling on for a few weeks though, hasn't it, with this situation with Eastbourne.
I've actually got the statements here, so
okay.
I'll read it out. Following a statement from the club after the most recent home fixture on the 31st of July versus Plymouth Gladiators, expressing concerns about crowd figures, the directors and management of Eastbourne Speedway have been working on solutions to resolve cash flow and funding issues that have affected the club due to much lower than anticipated match receipts and revenues from mid-July onwards. We are working with the BSPL. That's always a worrying statement.
No, it's not be cynical. So.
Because I remember the same statement happening at Birmingham. We are working with the BSPL and the SCB to evidence and comply with requirements going forwards and remain confident of a medium and long-term solution. We are working hard to ensure that latent overdue payments are fulfilled as soon as possible and to secure the immediate future to get us to the end of the 2021 season and hopefully beyond. We are fully committed to honouring all outstanding financial commitments in the coming weeks. We have been unable to meet a financial deadline request at this time from the BSPL and SCB and have regrettably had to postpone our next planned fixture versus the Red Car Bears. The postponement will ultimately help us with our ongoing recovery plans without risk of any further deterioration in our financial position. We will refund within 24 hours the small number of online tickets purchased for the fixture. We expect to make a fuller statement on Tuesday the 24th of August regarding future plans, which is of course today. So yeah, what do we make of that, gentlemen?
It just sounds a mess, doesn't it? I think they're probably not. Eastbourne probably haven't done themselves any favours. I think by not really sort of going in. Well, as I say, they're probably limited in details they can go into per se. But I think the Birmingham meeting was called off several weeks ago, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, with no real explanation given. I think the explanation was poor forecast or something like that. But
Well, they said a poor forecast. I mean, to be fair, it wasn't nice that weekend.
Yeah.
And some waffle about the GP being on and stuff, and so they're having a small crowd.
It looks like they've been. It does seem as if they've been forced into sort of saying what is actually happening.
Is there anybody that goes to Eastbourne on the chat tonight? Let us know what you think and what the crowd levels have been like.
It does seem in a lot of ways. I mean, I'm not sure what you think about this, Mike, but I feel in a lot of ways that some of these clubs have come into this season thinking they could just pick up where they left off. Now, there's a lot of factors, with the COVID situation, of course, being the main one.
People's confidence.
People not being. Well, that was the thing. It's not just about whether people have had the vaccine or not. I know people who even though they've now had the vaccines, it has affected their confidence and they're reluctant to come out. Plus, you've got people who maybe have, because of the pandemic, have lost jobs. So their monies are maybe a little bit tight, so they've not got the extra spare cash to throw around like they would have done before COVID.
And also, let's be honest. I'll stop fiddling my pen before he shouts at
Yes.
me. We might have lost a few people as well.
Well, there is that, yeah.
I mean, so.
Was it maybe? Did Eastbourne maybe sort of dream a bit too much while moving up into the Championship?
Well, I think it probably would have worked for them without the pandemic.
Yeah.
Without the. But
by all accounts, their crowds in 2019 were very good.
Yeah, that's what I'd heard as well.
Yeah. Obviously, it is quite some way out of Eastbourne as well. It's not in the centre of Eastbourne. It's several miles
It's
outside.
out in the
isn't it?
wilds,
yeah,
isn't
it's out
it?
in the
Yeah.
wilds, sort of. And Eastbourne, without being too unkind, is sort of regarded as a bit of a retirement home, isn't it? Anyway, so it's an ageing.
Just the right demographic.
Yeah. Just a bit, yeah.
So anyway,
But it would be Eastbourne have had, even in recent years, Eastbourne have brought through some fantastic rides that have come through and established themselves at the top level. Have started their careers at Eastbourne.
and also from a purely selfish point of view, I need a team to hate. Cradley's gone, Coventry's gone. I can't say too much about Wolverhampton because you get upset. But I mean, I'm joking, of course. But the less clubs that you have, the less attractive the whole thing becomes.
Well, that's it. It's sort of full-on survival mode at the moment, isn't it? And that unfortunately seems to be with the way British Speedo's going at the moment. It doesn't seem to be let's just try and survive. It's when you've got clubs. I mean, you've got Birmingham, Newcastle, Eastbourne. Obviously, they're the three clubs that we know about who've suffered problems this season. I'm absolutely certain there's other clubs as well. It's not gone public yet.
Wolverhampton was. I mean, they closed for a couple of weeks as well, didn't they?
Absolutely, yeah. Although that was ultimately, I think, due to disputes with the council about how many people could be inside Monmore Green whilst the restrictions were still in place. But obviously, that's now been resolved. It doesn't send out a very positive message for the sport when you've got a league where several clubs look like they're struggling just to make it pay and get through the season. We could have, hopefully it's not the case, but we could have quite a difficult winter coming up. Hopefully we're not going to lose any tracks, but I suppose at the moment you can't really rule it out, unfortunately.
I mean, there's question marks over Swindon still. Still question marks over Birmingham at the moment. Oh, you've depressed me now, guys. Goodness me. Is Eastbourne still being run by Dugard, said Craig Smee.
I don't think they are running it now, are they?
No, I don't think they are. I think they're still involved in different ways and so on.
That's, I mean, you've got to, you think back to the late great Bob Dugard. I mean, he wasn't everybody's cup of tea. I know he did
Ruffled a few flowers.
Ruffled a few feathers. I mean, I can always remember him marching onto the centre green at Monmouth to go and have a go at poker. But you know, he was involved with Eastbourne for a long, long time, and he put a lot. You know, and
He's just gone up in my estimation. By the way.
and he poker. When they were involved with he was involved with Eastbourne for a long, long time, and they were competitive in the top league as well when he was there. So for the majority of the time, so.
Well, we better update you on what's going on, what's happening at Kent. We're going to do this a little bit more today because I really want to see how we do at Birmingham does at Plymouth. So I do apologise.
Okay, while you're doing that, I'll say a quick hello to Craig, to Duncan, to Simon, to Andrew, to Wendy, Linda Book, Simon, Alive.
Okay, well, Plymouth have made it a bit closer with a 5-1 in Heat 8. It's 21-26 at the moment. So
And it's
5
Kent
points
48, Newcastle 30 after Heat 13. 2 heats to go there, so
Well, they've pulled it. They've made it a little bit
but
better.
more
haven't
respectable
they?
there. But obviously the points are going to go to all the full points are going to go to Kent as well. Newcastle not going to pick up anything. So
Linda Buck says yes, it's quiet.
Yeah. I think it's a bit
I
louder now.
think she's happy that it's quiet.
Yeah.
probably yes.
Duncan Pemberton says tonight's statement is basically saying that they have been told to say nothing by the BSPL.
This is the is this the BSBA's sort of secrecy thing? Because how many times have we complained over the years? Things that are decided by the BSBA and they don't sort of make it publicly.
Yeah.
You just find out from other people, don't you?
Yeah,
So.
I mean, I don't think I've got enough fingers to answer that question. So, yeah.
Evening, Richard Langston.
Evening all.
Getting up. We're getting a lot. I think we mentioned earlier we're going to talk about this. We're getting a lot of meetings called off at the moment, aren't we? And
Yes, for one. I mean, obviously, we know what's been happening at Eastbourne.
yeah,
I mean, Birmingham have had a. Have we? No, I think we've gone through August, haven't we?
yeah.
Yeah, we think there was a
Glasgow, yeah.
rain off.
Leicester have had a couple of call-offs as well. So I think I mentioned earlier, Peterborough last night. I think it was their first home match since the beginning of July. This is the peak time
What
of
was
the
the
season.
score again, by the way?
It was 49-41. Just to.
Well, that's a nice echo.
I did mention you earlier. I did mention this tweet earlier. So.
Yeah, I just thought we'd
Yeah.
let you.
Well,
Enjoy that.
as you know, I don't post very much on the BSF, but I put something on the other day, and I'll never understand why clubs have long, great gaps of fixes during the season, and then they get to the end of August, and suddenly there's a light bulb goes on, and they start dashing to
Panicking and
cram everything in, and then you get the double headers and things like that. Even more so this season because with a shorter season, there's less room for manoeuvre as well. So. I've anybody who knows me will know that I've never ever been a great lover of double headers anyway.
No. I mean, we're lucky we don't get them at Birmingham.
Yeah.
We can't have them at Birmingham, but it's bad for the track. It's bad for the riders. Although Newcastle were happy to have their double header and immediately lose the memory of that awful drubbing that they had in the first match. I can't remember who it was against now.
Well, I mean, I would like to see a situation where teams have 2 matches a week at least. One home, one away. And the other thing with that, of course, is you get a more realistic fixture league table, don't you? Because you've looked at league tables in the past and you've seen teams that have had 6 matches, others have had 1. It just looks so.
Well, Birmingham's right at the bottom of the thing at the moment, but we've hardly had any matches compared to anybody else.
Simon says, are Kingsland and Peterborough up for sale after the rain-off last Wednesday?
That was a mess, wasn't it, as well, at Kings Lynn last week, wasn't it?
I didn't hear about this. I've been pretty much out of it this past week for one thing or another, so bring me up to date on that.
Well, they got me. I think the meeting there was Kingsland Sheffield, and I think by all accounts, from what Buster Chapman said, it was the Sheffield riders that got the meeting called off because they didn't want to ride. Chris Harris was guested with Sheffield, and he's made it clear on Twitter that he was willing to race.
Right.
So we should point that out. But he's basically said that if anybody's interested in buying Kingsland or Peterborough, then he's open to offers because he's had enough.
Is it a knee-jerk reaction, do you think?
You know, I always like to think that when people feel like that, they'll maybe sleep on it and see how they find the other thing of things the other day. But it did come across as being a bit of a sort of a 6-year-old statement, if you like, sort of throwing his toys out the pram. I mean, everyone knows Buster Chapman's always, you know, had a reputation for, you know, he wears his heart on his sleeve, doesn't he? And one thing I will say about him is his record at track preparation is very good.
We could have done with him this past few weeks.
Although I suppose ultimately, you know, I mean, obviously he wants to get the meeting on, but it's not him that's going out there to race, is it? So
no, it's a difficult thing. Some people say you should just leave it up to the referee to decide, but a referee's not necessarily ridden before.
There's an interesting debate actually on the BSF one. Someone saying about, you know, instead of rearranging fixtures, award points if they're not able to run them, award a draw. Now,
I don't think I like that idea.
Well, I can see merit in the fact that it reduces sort of, you know, having to rush around getting fixtures.
Also, if you're a rider, you're not going to like that.
Yeah.
Because
the only other thing, of course, is you know, that's something else that's maybe open to a bit
abuse.
You know,
we're going to lose this match.
If the away team doesn't fancy it, just play the face and get the meeting goal off and take a gifted point.
That's a good point, actually.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's probably not a goer.
Yeah, I don't think it will be. I know they do it in cricket, but
Duncan Pemberton says my claim to fan fame is doing a mate a favour. I collected a few years ago Sam Ermolenko, Henker G, Bo Bryle from Kingsland and
Bo Bryle, by the way.
Bo Bryle, okay, thank you very much. And took them to Manchester Airport. Henker and Bo slept all the way while me and Sam put the Speedway world to rights. Happy days as a fan.
Yeah, you know, so, given the way that Sam does sort of like to talk, I would imagine that's not surprising, to be honest.
He does like to talk. He gives Martin Smolinski a run for his money.
Any more news on Buster's outburst last week, says Richard Langston?
I don't think there's been anything else, is there? So.
No. I'd like to talk about this. I was told at the weekend, this is Andrew Garner, by the way, that there was a 25 million grant pot, but no clubs came forward to claim any. Don't know if this is true or not. My understanding is it isn't a grant. It's a loan. It's a loan, and so it's got to be paid back. So that, you know, do you really want to?
I think
it's a difficult one, isn't it?
Edinburgh and Glasgow got something, didn't they? From the Scottish government, I believe. But
right.
Yeah, it's probably not the best sport to get a loan against at the moment.
No, well, I mean, I'm sure they would have got it. I believe that the BSPL have as an organisation have got a pot of money. In that way, but I think it's something that you have to pay back. So that might have something to do with it. I guess the devil's in the details on that one.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a long one. We'll have a look at this, Mr. Craig Smee. We say it. Do you want to read it, actually?
Yeah, okay. I've got a bit of
Give me a rest.
Yeah.
Well, this is true.
We say it a lot. Speedway is all about promotion and advertising. Nigel Pearson wrote a positive column in the ACES programme last night about high-profile sports people who attend Speedway and have been sharing their experiences of Speedway on social media to followers who probably don't know what the sport is. He believes with the right promotion, paying and the use of social media, free, brackets, I'm sure we can get a good balance to draw in the crowds. Surely starting locally at schools or even advertising in football club programmes would be a start.
Everything is up for grabs on that, I think. I mean, I've got to say what we're doing at Birmingham now. I know the Isle of Wight, I presume still do it. Getting the kids involved in the half time, it's seen such an increase in the number of youngsters at the Speedway, and it's great to see.
Birmingham have done quite a bit on social media, haven't they, in the last few weeks? Wolves have obviously improved their social media output as well. Social media is a great tool for advertising, but there's also the other side of it, isn't there? So, you know, where people can put negative comments on there, and I guess that's in a way something that people it doesn't help that either because we often it's a good platform to have a little bit of a moan, but probably as other people read it then, don't they? So we do have. Well, I think Speedway fans have to play their part. I think in promoting the sport as well.
I think we do. I think we have to take responsibility for a lot, and I think some do and some don't, and that's life.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, going back to what we're doing at Birmingham, it's sad to me that doesn't happen at every club. The way of promoting it to youngsters and giving them this experience of, I mean, could you imagine when you was a kid just being able to walk across the track? It would have been such a thrill.
It would have been, yeah.
You know? So even just that, but I think the problem is the same old problem, which is that it's a group of individual businesses.
Yeah.
And so there is no sort of one focus, one direction in taking things.
Yeah.
So, there's no national campaign. There's no... I've always said that when a club comes to the table at the BSPL meeting, the first thing on the agenda should be, right, what are you going to do to attract new supporters to your team? And a discussion about, and that should be part of the discussion of the whole, it never seems to, doesn't seem to get talked about. Matt doesn't like double headers. I went to one at Halifax in 1975. My team, Leicester first and then Bellevue, should have been second but rained off. I met my future wife in the pub that night. She was an Aces fan, now divorced. I also have a hatred of double headers as well. I wonder, as I was reading that, I thought, where is this going? I've just seen you look at your phone. I'm guessing you've got an update.
51-33 is the score now at Kent.
Okay, and it's 24-29.
Yeah.
So it's still that 5-point difference after Heat 9. Oh dear, Ashley Morris has fallen off in Heat 10.
He had a fall earlier on, didn't he, I think?
He got run over by James Shanes. Oh dear. Okay, so it's all positive at the moment on that. So shall we try and put things a little bit more to right in the Speedway world? How do we get more fans?
Well, you've got to keep people's attention for a start, because we've had this discussion before, haven't we?
Every week.
Yeah. Every week.
Every week for about 5 years now.
Yeah, and that's offline as well. So.
Yeah.
About downtime at meetings. That's the biggest bugbear, isn't it? Because you've got. I mean, I think you mentioned that meeting at Stoke that you went to several years ago, and it was sort of, you just lost the will to live, don't you?
Yeah.
That's the biggest problem for me. Is you've got to have something going on all the time. You can't just have people, just nothing going on at all, because people just lose focus and lose a bit of interest, particularly with the kids as well, because kids, it's they don't have the attention span that adults do, unfortunately. So you've got to find something that's going to keep their attention.
If you've got somebody on the mic, he's got to be engaging the public the whole time there's not Speedway on. I mean, Birmingham have done something different this year that I'm not sure I've seen anybody do. They've actually recorded
the interviews,
so that they put them in when there's gaps in the whatever. They put the interviews on then, so that they're ready to go when the tractor's out or this is happening, and they do the So I think that's quite a good idea. It does have the problem of that means that the interviews are not commenting about the current match as such, but other than that, I thought that's quite a good idea. But yeah, running a meeting slickly.
I think they have tried to improve it in recent years, haven't they? So.
Yeah, I mean, it's this, when the riders are going round on the victory lap, 2 minutes silence should be going.
Yeah.
So that 2 minutes silence. Yeah, 2 minutes time limit should be going. You know, bang, bang, bang.
They
bang.
do that in the GPs. You know, the riders are finishing or going on to the last lap of their race, and you can see the next 4 riders are already at the side of the track waiting to go.
And why the hell we haven't got a clock at every single Speedway meeting at the start gate ticking off that 2 minutes? As a supporter, you're watching that. You're going to be watching that and seeing it go down.
Birmingham haven't got one of those, I don't think.
No.
I know. I think the clubs in the top league have got one. Well, I think that's more to do with the TV, to be honest. But
Right. Well, they'll probably bring it for the TV.
yeah.
But it's just another point of interest for something to look at. I know it's only a clock ticking down, but you're thinking, oh, I hope he doesn't come out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or I hope he does come out if it's your rider. So,
Mr. Wolf was awesome with kids and adults between races back in the day. Stupid actions, but took your attention between heats.
Yeah, Mr. Wolf was fantastic. Spike, who was
you haven't got it anymore, have you? Does it?
We have got a Mr. Wolf, but it's not the same one. It's Spike was an absolute fantastic character. He used to do the war cries. Well, he did the war cries without a microphone as well. That's how loud his voice was. In fact, he had to stop. He was told by his doctors he had to stop doing it in the end because he was damaging his voice.
Really?
So, but the thing with him, he was fantastic at keeping people's attention without being childish. To be honest, there was always compilations of some of the things he used to do with the crowd, especially when other clubs used to come with mascots. I mean, Bradford used to have Mr. Bear, I think, and they used to have some great, sort of play fighting and all sort of stuff there. And I suppose, this is obviously when I was a lot younger, and it would keep people entertained in between races.
So it's not. You haven't got a proper Mr. Wolf.
We
now.
have got one now, but it's not the same one.
Oh, he's like a sheep in wolf's clothing.
Yes, just a bit. Yeah.
The
The best one is the best one now. I think any Bellevue fans that are listening probably Chase the Ace, and I was really impressed with the Bellevue mascot.
Okay, I've obviously seen him on YouTube and on the tally, but he
really works to get the crowd involved. So.
I think Brummy Bear's not bad either, particularly with this business of bringing the kids onto the centre green, and we've got some lovely photos of him with the kids coming up and hugging him and all the rest of it. So that's all nice. Riders need to interact, so people that don't know the riders means it's just 4 bikes going in circles. We give out cards and then kids watch out for the kid on the card.
I took my it's moving so quickly.
Okay. I took my son to BSB at Cadwell. Although he rides Speedway, he found okay, but struggled to get excited and not totally familiar with the riders. I think I understand where you're coming. I mean, again,
you see riders that win races and they go straight back to the pits, don't they?
Yeah.
Nick Morris is one for doing that actually at Wolves. It sort of frustrates me a little bit with him.
And also, I mean, going back to what I've been talking about all night, which is the centre green experience and everything at Birmingham when the kids come on. Yeah. The riders come on as well, and they take photos with them, and they give them sweets and and talk to them, and or some of the riders. I mean, not every rider comes out. I don't think you want every rider.
Yeah,
would like some of them back in the pits, making sure their bikes are okay. Thank you. but it's just a nice. It creates heroes.
Yeah, it does.
And that's what you need in Speedway. Somebody once asked me, a TV reporter actually once asked me what's good about Speedway, and I just said, it just came out of nowhere. I said, it's like watching 4 gladiators on their horses, just with just no quarter given. And it is like that, isn't it? Particularly when you're a kid, Anyway, there you go.
I still think the 2 minutes going on should run like in Poland. Clock ticks down, race starts after 2 minutes.
Yeah.
I've lost that one now. Last night at Bellevue, there were a couple of races where 2 minutes went on. It was down for 20 seconds on the clock when the rider enters the track, races, round to the start, does a bit of gardening, etc. Frustrating sometimes.
You want to move the screen a bit nearer to you?
I bet even more so for newcomers.
Yeah. What is the regulation is with the 2 minutes? Is that 2 minutes to be ready or 2 minutes to be on the track?
2 minutes to be on the track and under power.
It does seem to be 2 minutes to be on the track, and then you can mess about as much as you like.
Because
sometimes,
that was they have to be on under power, making their way towards the thing, and the reason that changed was because they stopped the riders from going across the centre green.
Yeah.
So the riders said, "Well, if you're going to stop us doing that, then we need that sort of." If we're on the track and making our way towards, so that's my understanding of it anyway. But to be honest, 2 minutes is long enough. It's longer than the race.
Yeah. It's finished Kent 56, Newcastle 34.
There's still stuff going on at Plymouth. We're on heat 10 at Plymouth at the moment, and I think I mentioned that Shane's had gone into Morris in an earlier heat. Well, now Morris has got into Shane.
Revenge is a best,
or the other way around. So I don't think it was. I think he fell in front of him.
We ought to do our predictions, I think, because we are.
Yes, and we need to also state a few rules. I think.
Rules.
Right, no. Because there's been a lot of confusion this week with people sending their scores to different places, either to me, to Matt, to the messenger, and so forth. We want all the scores on this stream. Okay, so it doesn't really matter if the stream's finished. You can still add your predictions on. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Catch my drift. Good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Easy as that, so that we don't get them all different places now. Okay, and we do apologise if.
How do they? If they're looking at us via another system, because there's all different ways with YouTube and everything.
Well, they're gonna. We can only do it. I mean, look at him. He's getting on a bit. He can't.
No, that's not where I was going. No. Can you give them an address? www.
No. Just come to Facebook.
It's on Facebook.
Come to Facebook.
Yeah.
Just come to the Facebook stream and put your predictions on there.
Well, that's my point. You didn't say the Facebook stream. You said the stream.
It's picky, isn't it?
Yeah, but if I'm watching it on YouTube, and you say the stream, I'm liable to think that you mean the YouTube stream.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah.
So that's just thought. Let's not have any more confusion.
Apologies.
Speedway stadiums need to be modernised, cleaner, more comfortable for the punters.
Yes, it would help if these clubs own the stadiums, to be honest.
Yes,
that would.
And that had the money to pay for it as well. But some of them are just a lick of paint occasionally.
Yeah.
I mean, I think our stadium's okay if you're on one side of the stadium, but the rest of it's looking a bit ramshackle, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, we've all heard.
We don't have the stadium. It's not.
Yeah, we've all heard horror stories about the toilets on the back straight at Swindon as well, haven't we?
Oh God! Yeah. Well, don't make me go there. God.
So, shall I get the table up?
Yes,
ready?
please.
Yes, please.
Here we go.
And we do want everybody to feel that they can join in. So that's why we're sort of doing that rule. It's really great. Everybody wants to join in, to be honest. If many more people start turning up, we might have to pay them.
Yeah. Might have to pay me.
Yeah.
Now, Lawrence, he's there, but he's right on the bottom.
He's off the mark, though, Lawrence.
He's gone off the mark now.
Yeah, well, Lawrence, of course, is at Plymouth at the moment.
So he won't be putting his on. So.
No.
I don't think he's going to be having a crafty look at the stream while he's in the pits, is he, sir?
So we've got Simon Corbett at the top, followed by John Board, Matt Buck, Spuddy, Dave Twine, Mike Harris, Chris Brown. Hang on. Oh no, wrong one. That'll do. Elliot Hunt, Craig Smee, Ben Clifton, Jeff Daniels, Brian Bulk, Andrew Garner, Darren Pennock, Lawrence Fielding, Richard Langston, and Lawrence Rogers at the bottom.
Okay, I'm just going to bring you up to date after Heat 10 at Plymouth. It's now 29:30. We just got a 5-1. It's squeaky bum time.
Right then, so you want me to get this week?
Let's get the
Fixtures
things
up,
up.
yeah.
Here we go.
Okay, so if you want to put your, we've got a little bit more time this week than we normally have,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
we
yeah.
might have a look at some of them as we go. So, but we're going to start off with tomorrow's match: Birmingham versus Plymouth in the Championship. The return of Phil Crump. to
Phil
the-
Crump. Crikey.
So that would be so. The return of Jason Crump to the track that he's never been beaten at.
Yeah. Hopefully, obviously a great crowd as well, you know, because it's almost certainly going to be the last chance to see Jason Crump race it in
Yeah,
Birmingham.
get yourself down
Get
to
down
Birmingham
there.
tomorrow.
Get down there, you know, the guy's worth it. He's he might not be the rider he was, but he's an absolute legend of the sport.
And also pay your respects to Archie.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry,
But I'm
Birmingham
gonna-
versus Plymouth.
Yeah, I'm going to go Birmingham by 10.
Okay. And Chris has disappeared because he
Right.
doesn't want to
Doing
give
some
a score.
technical stuff.
Okay, you went to the toilet, did you?
Birmingham by 6.
Birmingham by 6. I'm going to say Birmingham by 12.
Right.
Poole versus Newcastle. That's to you, Chris.
Ooh. I'll go Pool by 4.
Really?
Yeah.
Poole by 20.
I'm going to say that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. There have been some strange scores this season, admittedly,
Exactly.
but,
That's why I'm only.
yeah.
That's why I'm 7th.
yeah.
Okay.
It's also why you're below me and him, so.
On the 26th of the 8th, Kingsland versus Wolverhampton, and that's up to me. Do I go for a comic effect and see if I can get you to fret? I've decided by the way I'm not going for any more draws.
Right. Okay. No.
But anyway, I'm going to say Wolverhampton by 4.
I'm going to say Wolves by 8.
Ooh. Seems quite popular. Wolves by 8. I'll go Wolves by 6.
Okie dokie. Sheffield versus Ipswich. Matt.
Sheffield by 12.
Sheffield by 10.
I'm going to say Sheffield by 12 as well. Edinburgh versus Poole. That's to you, Chris.
I'll go Edinburgh by 4.
That's going to be an interesting one, isn't
It's
it?
going to be, yeah.
And I just said I wasn't going to do any more draws. I'm going to say Edinburgh by 2.
Edinburgh by 6, I'm going to say, on that one.
Edinburgh are happy with us then.
Yeah.
Redcar versus Scunthorpe. That would be me. They've got a few injury problems at the moment, Scunthorpe, haven't they?
Yeah.
I'm going to say Redcar by 4.
I'm going to say red car by 8.
I'll go Redcar by 10.
Okay. Glasgow versus Berwick. Matt.
Glasgow by 10.
Glasgow by 6.
Glasgow by 12.
Gone off the ball, haven't they, though,
They
Glasgow
have,
a little bit.
they have, but they're still doing okay at home,
Yeah.
aren't they? But they have gone off the ball a bit. Berwick versus Eastbourne.
Is this going to be on, by the
Well,
way? Just out
Well,
of...
well I don't think we really know, do
No.
It's still up as a fixture list, so we'll go for it. Berwick versus Eastbourne.
Oh, I'll go Eastbourne by 4.
I'm going to say Berwick by 6.
I'm going to say Berwick by 10.
Leicester versus Plymouth. Leicester by 12.
Yeah, I'll say Leicester by 12 as well.
I'll go Leicester by 10.
Berwick versus Eastbourne.
That's the NDL, by the way. So
Oh, yes.
it's worth pointing out as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay.
Berwick by 6.
Berwick by 10.
Berwick by 8, just because it was there. There was a gap there. Poole versus Birmingham. Whose go is this?
Is it mine?
I think it's
I
yours.
think it's
yeah.
mine. Ooh, no, I don't normally go for Birmingham, do I? I'll go for Birmingham by 4.
You can see why he's at number 7. I'm going to say Pool by 10.
I think this is possibly the first time the two sides have met since the playoff final, isn't it? Yeah. Paul by 8, I think. I'll go for that one.
You had to mention that flipping that final, didn't you?
Well, just to say that there's going to be revenge on mine, maybe, isn't there?
Mm.
Because, of course, one of the Birmingham riders was riding in that final.
Yes, Chris Harris.
Of course, yeah. So,
yeah. And he
who always
knows-
goes well at Pool, so...
Red car versus Berwick. That's to me then. I'm going to say red car by 6.
I'm going to say red car by 12.
I'll go middle fiddle. I'll go red car by 10.
Okie dokie. And Bellevue versus Wolverhampton. That's up to thee.
We've already won at Bellevue once.
Go on, go
Not
for a
convinced
draw.
we'll do it again, so...
Go on, go for a draw.
No, I'm not going to... I'll go Bellevue by 4.
I'll go Wolverhampton by 4.
I'm going to say Bellevue by 2. I think that's going to be a hell of a meeting.
Yeah.
So, and then the return, Wolverhampton versus Bellevue.
That was a cracker the last time Bellevue came to Monmouth. It's one of the best matches I've seen.
It's up to you, Chris.
So it'll be revenge. I'll go Bellevue by 4.
Are you on something?
But you never know.
I'm going to say Wolverhampton by 2.
You're not that confident then.
I'll tell you why I was laughing.
By the way, it is the TV match. If it's anywhere near as good as the last time Bellevue came, it'll be a cracker, so don't miss it. But I'll go for a home win. I'll go for Wolves by 4.
Okay, and then the last...
It's potentially a dress rehearsal for the playoff final, isn't it?
Yeah.
Although I don't think it will be.
Okay, because you think
I think it'll be Wolves Peterborough.
for the final, you don't think Wolves will choose... Oh, no, because they don't do great. Yeah, okay. So we're left with Kent versus Birmingham. It's me, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Dear, I don't want to do this one. Kent by 10.
Well, I think Chris has just said the Bellevue will win at Wolves, didn't
Yeah.
Okay.
And he also said Wolves will win at Bellevue.
Kent are flying, aren't they? I'll go for Kent by 10 on that one.
I'll go for Kent by 6.
Okay. So everybody else, get your scores up on the feed.
And that concludes this week's predictions.
Yep.
Now, the scores at Plymouth are now 33-32, so Plymouth are now 1 point in front. We can't let this go, can we? Surely.
We're going to have to. Stop calling me Shirley.
Okay.
Well, if Birmingham want to be in the playoffs, they're going to start picking up wins on the road.
This is. I think this
This is a winnable match for me.
So we shall see.
Yeah.
I think we need to beat Plymouth. I think it was a disappointing performance last week at Scunthorpe.
Yeah.
But hey ho. I'm just looking down the scores.
Just looking back on that last predictions, Richard's gone Wolves by 6, Wolves by 14, Wolves for a draw. Jeff Donnelly's gone for a draw. Kent by 6 said Richard. Kent by 6 says Craig. Kent by 10 says Jeff. Kent by 14 said Simon.
Certainly wouldn't surprise me if it was a draw, to be honest, but I'll stick with what I've already said. So.
There haven't been that many draws, have there?
No, I realised something last week after I did predict a draw, and I thought,
You realise you're an idiot.
yes, basically, because if you predict a draw, the only score that's going to get you any points is a draw.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
So
I'm surprised people haven't started predicting rained off, to be honest, with all the...
Players' wages stops play. You know? I've got to laugh at it, haven't you?
That could be a good subject maybe for 1 week as well. Actually, wages, payments, and stuff, and are they getting enough, and how do they get paid, and etc. etc.
Well, I think it depends which club you're at. From the sounds of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you hear so many rumours about this riders on that and that riders on getting this, and I mean, I remember when we was in the National League, most of the National League teams were saying that we were the highest paid team in the league until Eastbourne turned up.
Really?
But I don't really. I thought, have you seen our crowds? I don't think it was true, but there was a lot of talk that we'd paid Adam Ellis quite a lot of money. But should we know?
Well, why not?
Does anybody know how much you earn? Would
you want to know?
Yeah, but that's not the point, is it?
No.
No. I shouldn't have the right.
I'm not a professional sportsman, though.
My attitude is...
Not professional anything.
Exactly.
My attitude is, if the clubs can afford to pay it.
Yeah.
But don't pay it if you
No,
can't.
Don't pay it if you can't afford it, no.
Yeah, no, the question was, I mean, is there a pay structure? Is there a bonus structure?
I think there is
Who
in the
pays
National
that?
League.
Who pays this, you know? It's obviously it's not equals pequals, is it? So,
I think probably with the problems that we're having at the moment, it would be advisable maybe to have sort of a limit on, like they have in the NFL where they have a wage cap.
Oh, right, okay.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. I could do it in football, you know what I mean? But
Definitely, yeah. So
you know, let's just pray that Mr. Jimmy Hill, a certain, a Jimmy Hill figure doesn't come into Speedway. 'Cause then, mind you, there's not enough money anyway, so I don't know what I'm saying. No, it's a shame, isn't it, really? Sean Doyle is committed to the Polish League again. He said if Swindon was riding this year, he'd have chosen to ride in England. Can you see him riding in England next season if Swindon come back?
yes, I do think he would come back.
Yeah. I mean,
I think
he lives in.
yeah.
He's got.
Yeah. I would imagine he was maybe a little bit miffed about the fact that Swindon withdrew late after he'd committed to racing there. But to be fair to Jason Doyle, he's been one of the few top riders who's been very loyal to British Speedway.
Absolutely.
Maybe slightly surprised that he hasn't picked up somewhere else, to be honest. But I suppose a lot of it depends on whether Swindon do.
I'm surprised Robert Lambert hasn't.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, to be honest. But
Listen to a Darcy Ward interview on Aussie Radio, who revealed what sort of money and deals he got in Poland, Sweden, and England in his last season.
I'm betting that those are in order of
probably yes. I imagine.
most, not as much less.
Yeah.
Would be my guess.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to know.
It is, but I don't think we have a right to know.
No.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, do you know what footballers are earning a week?
Most of them, yeah,
Do you
more than
really?
what we're earning.
Yes.
Or do
More
you
than
know
£100 a week.
Yeah, or do you know what they tell you they're earning?
I think we know most of what. Yeah, you can find out basically. Yeah.
Too much.
Yeah, too much.
Too much.
Yeah, much too much. Much too much. Okay, so don't forget, when you're doing the predictions game, put your predictions on this stream. It doesn't matter whether the stream's finished or not.
This stream being the Facebook
The
stream.
Facebook stream.
Yeah.
The only stream where we're putting all the comments on.
That would just help us out, basically.
Yeah.
It's helped Matt out.
Can't matter. So it's got to be hard. Must be hard work for him.
Well, yeah, he had to learn to read, didn't he? So
Exactly.
and then count.
Yeah. Oh, he's got staff now that help him do it and all sorts.
No, saw me. That's
Oh,
I don't think those children that you're keeping in the cellar downstairs count, to be honest. But,
whipping him. Get back there. Get that score.
well, on that note, I'm going to take one last look at the Plymouth match, which is turning into a bit of a thriller at the moment.
Yeah. Apparently, it was a cracker at Peterborough last night, the Peterborough Wolves meeting. So, and that's maybe set up as a potential playoff final,
Ooh,
which I wouldn't be surprised is, to be honest.
You did say that, yeah.
Very, very importantly, we need to tell people next week we won't be on Tuesday.
Oh, yes, we're on Thursday.
We're going to be on
next
Thursday, so put that in your diary. You know, Thursday.
Yeah, he's talking to you, Mike, by the way. So.
Yes, I'm talking to you. Thursday, 8 o'clock.
8 p.m, by the way.
Yeah, it's 8 p.m. Yeah, PM, yeah.
Don't get Chris out of bed. So.
Thursday. That's the day after Wednesday and the day before Friday. Okay?
There you go.
Okay, and I'll break it in next week. What's happening the week after as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I won't, yeah.
You're not going on holiday again, are you? by any chance?
No. Well, maybe.
Right, make sure you take your tests, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
See you soon. Thank you for joining again. Take care. Bye-bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Welcome to the Speedway Tavern. Enjoy your stay.